Hey there, guys. Welcome to the second devlog for Untitled MMORPG. Um, Today we got a bit of work done, not too much. However, we got what we needed. It isn't in the best of state. However, I just wanted to get the functionality in place and then refactor it as needed. Um, So there were several things we got done today. To begin with, you can see two game windows here. And so what that is I ended up downloading a GitHub project called ParrelSync. And what this does is it allows you to, when you're working with networked games, to make a clone of your project. Not like an exact replica. However, it makes like a clone to where basically you don't need to make a new build for your game every single time. All you basically need to do is set up the clone, and then anytime you make a change in the main project, you'll have this clone here and you'll return to it, and it'll recompile and get all the changes. It works beautifully. I can definitely vouch for it. So that we got that imported into the project, working wonderfully, improving our workflow indefinitely. And then we did a lot of folder reworking. We got everything that's third party into third party folder, scripting. I should have made more progress. However, I ended up going for the route of making all my controllers, all my stats completely able to work without networking involved. It took a bit of work. However, we were able to reach it to where if I want to add networking to those components, all I need to do is set up the game objects properly and then go into the network folder, and we got like a player setup server script, a server NPC setup script, and then if you're the player on the client side, the commander to send the signal to your server that you want to move your player. And it's actually interesting because with RuneScape, you can see a lot of parallels. And also looking at World of Warcraft, non-parallels. So in RuneScape, every player movement, every NPC movement is server side. Same thing with the hit commands and everything. All of that is server side to where if you move your player and you click in a destination to move your player, you can click however many times you want. However, if your network is lagging behind, as in your Wi-Fi, not the server network, if your Wi-Fi is lagging behind, you can click however many times you want, and then your character will, once your Wi-Fi catches up to the server, your character will basically just transport to the last known click point that you told him to go to. That's because you click, you use this commander script to send the movement, and it the server goes, oh, okay, let me move him. However, he can't get back that signal to the local player quick enough. That's how it is in RuneScape. I don't, at least in games like these, there's not really a need to make sure that if you're on the client, you see your character move immediately. I guess more for like Counter-Strike, first-person shooters, stuff like that. However, interestingly enough, I was thinking World of Warcraft actually has client-side movement. It'll move your player locally and then send the updated movement to the server, and then he'll send it to everybody else aside from you, which is pretty neat. I think World of Warcraft does need that, as precise movement is very, very important. Although it's a very complex topic that, there's no right or wrong answer, and it really is something that the way you set it up is very specific to your game. And I think that's one of the tough parts about networking, or that you basically need to figure out the best way to set all this up. So I got my scripts cleaned up. It's all looking nice and dandy. Same thing with the health system. I got everything network side. Health is all done on the network. There's no client side health, at least in terms of sending and retrieving data. Everything, the server will send the health data to all clients, and the clients will basically, in an offline mode, calculate everything and react accordingly. It's pretty nice. So if I wanted to move this to an offline project or to an offline scene, I very easily can do that, just with a bit of extra setup, basically just setting up the prefabs properly. Because I do have those NPC server startup script and the player startup script. Those are very specific. They add specific components that are needed based on if it's the server or if it's the player. And without those in place, they're just basically the prefabs are shells of what they should be. So, aside from that, we were able to get an inventory system working, along with picking up items, and awesomely enough, we were able to, if the player was the first one to attack an enemy, aka tag the enemy, like we see in World of Warcraft, you will be the one to receive the loot. It'll drop for you, it'll only show for you. And you will be the only one to be able to pick it up. There is going to need to be some work on that side of things. Again, like I said, I just put these systems in place, just to get a feel for, how it works, and how it's going to work. So if I go here, I think, yeah, I buffed the player health quite drastically. If I press I here, that black box appears. That's your inventory. You see the slab of meat dropped. Cool. Now let's go ahead and enter our client in the other session. We'll get him attacking a few more just to add to it. Client. You can see him attacking. That's awesome. Now, I wasn't the one to have killed, in this client, I wasn't the one to have killed to show these meats. So those meats don't show up. And then ideally, like after 30 seconds pass or so, those should show up on other clients. And then same thing here. The loot is very specific to the player. It's awesome. Some rework will need to be done in terms of game design, to where, because currently right now it's the first person to tag them. I know World of Warcraft basically has got rid of that system due to many reasons, because it didn't feel right to have a player tag an enemy and then you do most of the damage. So I think I'm going to have to do something there in that regard, whoever does the most damage. However, for the sake of testing and getting something on the screen, I got just the first person to tag them. And then hopefully let's demonstrate that. Oh, he might die. Hopefully not. Right. So I was the one to kill him. Cool. Yep, so he attacked first on the right side, so it shows up for him. I believe. So let's go ahead and open up our inventory. Let's go ahead and pick up the meat slab. picked it up. We got meat slab in our inventory. And awesomely enough, on the other character, it doesn't get added to him. For those familiar with networking, you will know why that's awesome, that it didn't show up in both. And then you can see I'm here at 25 out of 30 health. I'm going to click on meat slab and it's going to heal me. Pretty sick, right? Same thing here, I can pick this up. I don't have stackable items or anything, it's just items getting added to your inventory. That's what I got. That's what I got. I honestly thought the inventory system was going to be a lot more work. Fortunately, I already had like an offline version working. If you remember in the previous devlog, I showed you the offline project. So I was luckily able to move most of that over and move it over and with slight modifications basically get it working with the network and all that. And so for instance, one of the changes here is, so I have this item action script, which is a scriptable object, basically gives us an action for our items. So basically what I do, since there's several players and even NPCs, I have to grab all of the health, search through the healths, check to see if the owner of that health instance is the local player, and if so, add him health. How I previously did it with online mode was basically check skills.tag is equal to player, something like that. Because again, all I would need to do was find the player. However, there's now multiple players, and I only want to heal my player on the network. Yeah, so that's what I have. It's interesting. That's cool. Cool bug. That's what I've got. We're making great progress. Everything's looking good. I'm luckily getting to the point now where I'm not limited by learning. I'm limited by what I want to achieve, which is pretty cool. Because previously, it was everything's crashing and burning on fire, but now, and there's no solution. Everything's too bogged up, and it's just a mess. Now I'm able to look at what I have and refactor it properly to what I want it to do, which is pretty cool. Alright, so stay tuned for the next devlog. It is the weekend, Friday, as of posting this video. I probably won't work on this too much over the weekend. However, come Monday, we are definitely going back full force. Alrighty, have a good day, guys. We will catch you next time. Bye.